Hello! What is up, everybody? This is K-Rail. This is my good friend George Corso.
What's going on, everybody?
We're live at Forza Gym. And what town are we in?
Millbrook, New York.
Millbrook, New York. So I have been traveling across the country on my spring tour with Kelly Manzoni and Paul Terrace Volkovinsky with the Indian Clubs International Project. Speaking of which, we have a workshop coming up this Saturday. We still have some spots open if any of you want to attend. But come to find out, my good friend George lives an hour and a half away from where I am staying. And we've been friends behind the scenes for a couple years now, and we've been talking shop for a while. And I'm like, dude, I've got to come and visit you, and I got to see your place. And I have to admit, this place is amazing, and this town is amazing too. If you ever get a chance to come to Millbrook, New York, I highly suggest y'all come. And especially, come and visit this guy, because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He moves like a freaking gazelle, like a greasy cheetah. He's got moves that just like shock the heck out of me every time I see his videos. He's like something on the Matrix. And I don't know if you saw that picture I posted, but he was doing, what do you call that move you were doing with the
single arm elbow lever?
Single arm elbow lever. So I try to do front levers and back levers on pull-up bars all the time in the summer. That's usually one of my gigs that I strive to do, and I don't even come close because I got long arms and long legs. And yes, maybe I'm a little bit lazy in my preparation for that. I'm not going to deny it. But, holy Toledo, I see you do these movements on the ground, and I'm blown away. So I want to know one thing. First of all, I want to know what your background is of exercise, and like where did you start from, and what got you to where you are now with all those movement things you do? Because it's absolutely breathtaking. And I invite any one of you out there who have not watched him, go to his Instagram page, go to his Facebook page after we're done talking smack. Don't be rude and leave us. Wait till we're done. And watch some of his videos, because I'm just blown to smithereens. I'm blown away. We look like brothers, by the way.
Yeah, we do. You know, I think it's the long Goldilocks hair, right?
Right? It's the long golden hair. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Tell me about where'd you start from, and what got you from like into the fitness industry? Where'd you start, and like what kind of path did you go through? Like background, did you get a degree? What certifications did you get? And what got you to where you are now? Because I'm always curious to know people's stories. I love it.
You know, when I first started, I think it was, you know, traditional like anybody else. You started in the gym with everything.
Yeah.
And I played Division I AA college football.
Oops, sorry.
And I was lucky enough to have a couple of open tryouts with the Toronto Argonauts.
Oh, I think we talked about this briefly. Yeah.
And there were open tryouts. Some were in Virginia, some were wherever. So, you know, I got called back once or twice. And in the meantime, I needed a job when I was doing some of these tryouts.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll just work out at a gym. I kind of know exercise because of what I learned from the strength coach.
Yeah.
You know, so I just did some of the basic stuff that I knew. You know, but I started getting a lot of clients. I'm like, oh, maybe this is a gig I kind of want to do. And when I realized I was getting too old to play football, and I'm only 5'7", so I'm like, I can only go so far. You know, I decided to go into that industry a little bit. So I did everything very basic. I did split body routines, which we've all started with.
Right.
You know, and
beefcake stuff.
Yeah, and at that time, I was, as weird as it sounds, I was still doing very competitive open track meets, running the 100 and 200. But I was also on the side, which is very counterintuitive. I was doing natural bodybuilding shows. Ah, okay. Yeah. So I didn't realize I was destroying myself at that time.
Yeah.
No. So as I wanted to educate myself more and learn more, I stopped with the bodybuilding, and I actually got my NSCA and my CSCS. Okay. And I started going more towards the science angle of things. And then what happened was, as I was training and moving, I was running into more people. So one client who's a very dear friend of mine now, her name's Lorraine Patton, which I hope you're listening to this. She got me more involved in kettlebells, and which I completely fell in love with. I saw your what are they? Not championship. What's the word I'm looking for? Competition kettlebells. Yes. So I don't know if I had a Instagram. I did an Instagram live quick feed on that the other day, and I was exposed to those over at Wilton Sport and Fitness, where Kelly sometimes goes over and trains. That's where we do our workshops, and they have all competition style there, and I loved them. Yeah, and I'm thinking of transferring, like as soon as I get back to Park City, I'm probably going to try to just like slowly sell my cast iron ones and go over to competition. I love the competition ones. Because they feel so different on the hand and arm. They're a little more comfortable. So I do have both, you know, because when I want to do my flows with the bells, I have the small cast iron ones. When I'm actually doing my more traditional stuff,
I like using the competition ones more. So I think it's good. Having both is wonderful.
Yeah, totally.
So she got me involved in the kettlebells. I actually started with the World Kettlebell Club first. That was my first kettlebell certification. And then I went with the RKC, which I love both.
Yeah.
You know, it was a place for both and everything. And then she said, hey, do you know what more movement-based stuff is? And I was like, well, yeah, this. And she's like, no, you got to check out Animal Flow and this. And I was like, well, what is that? And I said this on my last podcast, and it's the God's honest truth. She's like, look at this guy. And I was like, whoa, man, look at that dude move, and look at this. And I was like, huh, well, you know, I was like, if I guarantee if I move like that, I bring that to the bedroom, my wife's gonna be happy, you know? So, and that was the truth. So I went to this thing, and I was humbled. I could do absolutely nothing.
Wow.
You know, and it was a good thing. It was a good, humbling experience, you know, and it made me say, okay, look, I need to take a step back, and am I actually moving properly? And I wanted to dedicate myself 100% to just working on movement patterns now. And that's where my practice really went, because I wanted to do it for myself. You know, I wanted to do it for my wife and kids, and turning 42 in a few weeks, I just thought it was, as I get older, it's more important of how well do I move, and as opposed to how big my biceps are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I went. That's what I went with, and that's what brings me here today.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. I think all of us have a story to tell when it comes to our background in fitness and where we got from point A to point B. That's why I always ask, because I always want to know, like, I don't know, I'm an inquisitive person. I've always been that way ever since I was a little kid. I always want to know, like, what people's towns look like, what they do during the day, how they got to where they are, how they got to their gym space, and all these different things. I just find it fascinating. Human nature, human connection is very fascinating.
Yeah, which is important.
It is. It's very important. And if you don't have that aspect in your life, I mean, there's like 5 different pillars, I say, in life that you need to have, and one of them is human connection. And if you're missing that one, you can get by if you have that, and you're missing some of the others. But if you're missing that and you have the rest of the 4, then life is very hard to live.
Absolutely.
I've found that out, and I've done the research, and it's like, if you don't have human connection, it can be insufferable sometimes.
Well, that's why I love the whole movement community.
Yes,
you know,
totally.
It's about helping one another so much. It's not so much of I noticed there's not so much competition anymore. You know, and yes, I think in any industry you still gotta have egos here or there, but I find less of that now. It's more like, hey man, have you ever tried this? As opposed to this is better. You don't hear that as much anymore. You know?
You're right.
And which I really enjoy. And when I say movement, I mean it from everywhere, from animal flow to locomotive patterns to kettlebell patterns to everything. I see a lot more help for each other, as opposed to people putting each other down.
Yeah, support is what it's all about.
Right, absolutely.
And you know, I went to the Persian yoga workshop this past weekend that I was telling you about, and there was so much camaraderie there. It was unbelievable. And there were people there was every color, there was every religion, there were people that, you know, had certain belief systems and everything else, all around the whole circle. And not once anybody judge anyone or look at anybody the wrong way. We all were a community. And I feel that the element of exercise and movement and fitness can really make huge strides in cutting down the racial barriers and the religious barriers and like all the terrorists and all these things that are going on all the time. And it makes me so excited to see that and be part of it. It's again, I just have like that tingling sensation in my gut, and that's just like a positive affirmation to me that I'm doing the right thing and I'm in the right place at the right time.
Well, that's what I feel like with my obviously I love Animal Flow, and everyone knows that. That's how I feel about that community. Anytime I've gone to a workshop or a certification, or we've had our flow jams, it doesn't matter about race, religion, anything you said. It's just people helping each other, and I actually feel like one big family. And that's why I've been so comfortable and been so vocal just about that organization as well.
Yeah, that's super cool. And it's funny because he just informed me that there's no pictures of like bodybuilders or like Lou Ferrigno from the 70s like this in his gym, and it's all animals. And then I just connected the dots, like Animal Flow, animals.
Yeah, I get my animals all over the wall, all over upstairs, and
That is so awesome. So I said the word gut before, and that brings me to the next item of business, and that's this stuff right here. And this is not a cheap, sleazy plug for Wild Tonic Kombucha. This is one of my favorite kombuchas, and when I'm on the road, this is the one I like to drink. However, I just paid $6.92 for this bottle of kombucha. I get these back in Park City for $4.99, and people are in an uproar because they're so expensive. And I go to Natural Grocers down the road in Salt Lake City, get them for $3.99, which is a steal. And here I am in the middle of nowhere, Millbrook, New York, paying $6.92. That's what an addict does.
Small town, big prices.
Small town, big prices. Wow, that's true. Now, speaking of gut health, you've had some issues with your gut over the years.
Yeah.
I always like to talk about food.
those of you that know me, you've seen my pictures, you've seen my speeches on like fasting and dieting and like two meals a day and all that kind of stuff. And the best diet for you is like not the best diet for everybody else. Always do what's best for you. But George has to follow a specific diet. He was informing me. So under normal circumstances, foods like baby spinach and broccoli and mushrooms and potatoes and stuff like that sound healthy, and they usually are. But in your situation,
My situation, a lot of the stuff that you think some people could eat, will actually kill me.
What is it that you? What's your situation?
When I was when I was 8 years old, my appendix ruptured. And back in '86, they didn't have MRIs back then. So the symptoms I had, believe it or not, didn't add up to be appendicitis. Oh. It looked like more of a virus, right? So I went to the hospital, like, no, they put pressure on my stomach, nothing hurt, I was good there. But I was slowly dying because it ruptured and it was sitting on top of my intestines, my body, put this pocket around it, right? Ooh. And it sealed it, which kept some of the poison out, but it was killing me little by little. So they had to bring another surgeon, and back then exploratory surgery was the big thing, which is they literally cut you open. So my scar is this way, and they take everything out and they just cut it open. So they sliced the wire intestines, they sliced everything open to find the problem, and they found the problem, right? And they put it all back in, and which takes the rehabs, forever with that. And I just went on with my life. And then about 2 years ago, I always felt kind of bloated. My stomach felt big. I was like, maybe I'm just getting older, And one day I was at work and I was like, I don't feel good. And my wife was still pregnant with our 4th child, and I got home and I was like, I still don't feel good. And I literally came crawling out of the room. I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. I can't breathe, I can't move. By the time I got to the hospital, I couldn't walk. They had to bring a wheelchair out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I had a team of surgeons around me. And I was like, all right, this is bad. If I have all these surgeons around me, all these doctors, this isn't good.
Yeah.
So I didn't want my wife to panic, and I had this joking side of me a lot, and everyone who's close to me knows that. And the doctor's like, we can't give you pain meds. We want you so bad, but we don't know if you're allergic to anything. What are you allergic to? And I'm like, I'll tell you. And they're like, what? And I don't want her to panic, so I want her to relax. So they go, what are you allergic to? I said, come here.
You don't really talk?
I go, kryptonite. And my wife's like, really now? So they had to literally pump everything out of my stomach, and I was in there for like 7 days, and they found out that all scar tissue built up inside of my stomach. And
for how many years?
It was a lot of backup. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. And they said, you can't have leafy greens, you can't do this, you can't do that. So if you do, you're just gonna come back in, we're gonna pump it back out.
Wow.
So you need to experiment on what you could eat. So
So you had to experiment. They didn't just say like you can't have leafy greens, nightshades, broccoli, cruciferous vegetables.
Well, they said some of that you can't have, but the rest you gotta experiment with.
Wow.
So I realized I can't. There's certain ones I can't eat, like definitely no leaves, nothing like that. But I could have like cooked, like boiled down, or cooked or steamed, like zucchini and things like that. Very soft ones. And some carrots and things. So I got to be very careful.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to be a huge meat eater, but I have to.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of eggs.
Okay.
I do a lot of fish and things like that. But
are you able to have grains, beans, anything like that?
No, that's bad. That I can't have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
being half Puerto Rican, that's my favorite thing in the world. I'm like, no. Yeah.
When was it that you had this? I don't know what we call it. Not a resection, but like the elimination of all this gum from
2.5 years ago.
Oh, that's pretty recent.
Yeah, it's very recent. Yeah.
Wow. So you mainly can only eat like meat and
eggs and certain things,
certain vegetables and stuff.
So for myself, I won't have my first meal really to give myself time to digest. I don't usually eat till about 1 p.m.
Wow. So you're already doing like a time restricted
feeding. Yeah, because I can't call it fasting because I'm having coffee. In the morning.
It depends. You'd have to check your blood glucose level to know for sure. There's some catch-22s in there. Right, some people can like drink coffee. Mm-hmm. You should check your blood sugar first. Drink your coffee. Check it again 20 minutes later. And if your blood glucose goes up, then you probably shouldn't drink coffee if you're specifically looking to fast. Now, some people can do the same thing and their blood sugar doesn't move. And some people can add cream and butter and like all these bulletproof coffee, I guess you would call it, to their day, and their blood sugar will rise and other people's won't. Okay. So it's very individual.
So I have this guy, a friend who's really good at this stuff. I should pick his brain a little more.
Definitely. You can get this thing called the Keto Mojo. It's a tester. I went to FitCon a few weeks ago and they had him down there and they checked my blood glucose and
that can tell you. I mean, if you really want to get dialed in, I don't really think you know, it's not like a priority to you.
Right.
Your priority is like staying healthy and getting enough food in your system
Yeah, exactly.
to survive.
So I do a time restricted, so I'll go I'll start at 1 and then I'll go between 6 and 7, I'll stop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect eating schedule.
Yeah, so it actually worked out well, and it took me a while to get used to.
Yeah.
And then I was good, you know, and then it just worked out.
All right. Can you have sweets at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
No, it doesn't bother me. I just don't feel like I need it.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you like sweets?
I do. Like, you know, I'm an M&M junkie. I love
M&Ms?
Yeah, man.
That was my next question. Like, what if you had a junk food of your choice?
Yeah.
What would it be? Would it be ice cream or cupcakes or whatever?
No, I'm not a big ice cream person or cupcakes or things like that. Like, once in a blue moon, I'll get this like urge to have some like peanut M&Ms. You know, I'm like, all right.
They're so bloody good though.
Yeah.
Why do peanut M&Ms have to taste so good?
I know. So
And
I
French
won't-
fries.
I gotta stay away from them. But
Yeah.
if I want them, I'm not gonna say no. I'm like, no, if I want some, I'm gonna have some.
Yeah.
And then I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
it. I just won't deprive myself of them. You know.
This comes as a shock to some people, but I've got the biggest sweet tooth on the face of the earth. And my mom was purebred Italian, and she had a biggest sweet tooth, and my grandfather was too, her father. And when I used to go down his house when I was a little kid, he'd have like these canisters of candy all over the place. Like hard candies, those ones you suck on, and like these caramels, these square caramels and stuff. I'd just be there all day on a Saturday, just like pounding those things. Then I'd go eat lunch and I'd come back and eat more. And I developed that sweet tooth at a young age. And people are shocked when I say that because my body fat percentage is so low, and I don't look like I have a sweet tooth, but I do. However, when you do time restricted eating and you eat like 2 meals a day, you can get away with having a little bit more sweets in one of those meals just to maintain your calories and stuff. On my perspective, so it kind of just all balances out to me. Now, have you lived in this town your whole life?
I was, born in the city, lived in Brooklyn for a little bit.
Oh,
with
you
my
did?
parents, yeah, and then we moved to a couple towns over. And then it just happened, like I said, when I got a job at a local gym, it was a little down the road from here. It just happened to work out. I was working somewhere else for a little bit. And then when I wanted to open up my own space and realize I didn't want to do the regular gym stuff anymore, and I did what I thought was correct, I opened up my own place, which was only about 1,200 square foot.
Okay.
And then when I met my now wife, and I wanted her to go into business with me together because she's very, very talented at this, we opened up a bigger space, and then we outgrew it. And then we needed a bigger space, and there was another small local gym here, the building we're in now, had the small downstairs, and our partner Lori, she was looking for a business partner, and it just, hey, why don't we just take over the whole building? And we've been all good, a great team since then. Yeah, it's been very good.
When I first got here and I walked around, I'm like, I saw the sign for us, I'm like, there it is. And I drive down the back side, I'm like, that's a huge building. I'm like, does he own the whole thing? And then I looked into one window and I saw the spin bikes, and I'm like, holy Toledo, I think he does. And then you showed me around, and I'm just like, everywhere I walked in, I just kept going like,
yeah, we have everything.
Over and over again. I'm like, he's got a spin room down there. There's like a TRX room over here, and beautiful yoga room that we're in right now. You can't really see it from our perspective. But like, it must feel so good to have like, first of all, like where we talked, let's go back to the beginning where we talked about that human connection aspect. So not just in society with that, but like your wife and you having a passion for the same type of thing makes it so much easier, I've found. When you're pursuing your goals and your stuff, having someone support you, first of all, that's part of the human connection. But having that person that supports you think like you and being into the same thing, that's a really hard groove to find in this world. It's like being in a band and finding, like, if you're in a trio even, like let's take Green Day for example. Green Day has had a long history of success, and it's because they've always gotten along. They've had good human connection with each other.
Yeah.
Bands come and go and they break up all the time because they had good songs, but they didn't have good human connection with each other. But when it comes to owning a business like this, especially the magnitude of this building, it's so, inspiring is a good word.
Yeah, it's worked out well because we've always, that's what brought us together, was the fitness.
That is so cool.
And so
she wasn't like a client of yours first or something, was she? Because I hear that story sometimes. Was she?
Yeah, but I know it's the big no-no. But I married her, guys. I married her, so we're all good.
Whatever, it is what it is.
It's funny because anytime we go somewhere, we go to a conference, how'd you meet? And we're like, she was a client. They're like, no! But it worked out. Yeah, so we became like best of friends at first, too. And then just fell in love.
Yeah.
And but it's nice because everyone's like, oh, don't you get tired of working together? I'm like, one, I never see her because one, she'll train and do the books, right? But even when we had our other place.
Zach Blaine's watching, by the way.
Zach,
hey, Zach,
what's up, brother?
He said amazing gym. I think it's.
Hey, Chris. My boy Chris Flo.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
He is a talented coach, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, and you want to see someone who flows very well and is extremely knowledgeable.
So
that guy, Chris.
Is Flo his real last name?
It's Flores, but it's just.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How perfect.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I hope I said it right, Chris. But no, he's got he's talented coach. He's the one you want to look at too. But no, we as you're back to my wife in the business, everyone thinks it's hard. So it's not hard because we have sections that we each run.
Yeah.
Even between the three of us, my part, even though it was just my wife and I, you handle this, you handle the group fitness and this, I'll handle the personnel, and these are our we'll collaborate, and we've always kept that collaboration. So even when we're home or if we go out to dinner, everyone's like, "When you talk business, we talk exercise."
Yeah.
Because we don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we love it so
nice.
much, and because it's an evolving process, you don't get bored of it.
Yeah.
Because we're forever students, her and I.
Yeah.
So we treat it like that.
Yeah. I say that all the time. It's like people come up to me sometimes like, "Oh my God, I saw that video you did with those Indian things you use," and they're like, "That's just like it's like a masterpiece. It's like it's so graceful. It's like an art form. It's amazing," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm always a work in progress. And they're like, they look at me crazy. I'm like, I'll never be as good as I want to be.
Right.
And I'm like, there's always something more to learn, and you can always clean things up or fix the chops a little bit. I said, so, part of being good at something is not knowing that you're good at it and not thinking about it, and being humble.
And it's always a practice. I tell people, they'll say, all right, you're so amazing at this movement, this. I'm like, yeah, for this level here, yes. But I want to get here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them, I said, anytime I go to a workshop or this, and I'm always like, these people are amazing. I want to get to that next level.
Yeah.
So I'll tell my clients, if we're doing our movement practice, they're still used to the old traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. I say it all the time. Like there's a time and place for everything. Even I call them clunky machines. Mm-hmm. Please forgive me for those of you out there that use the machines, but there is a time and place for them. I mean, let's face it. Your muscles don't know if you're sitting on a chair doing a chest press or if you're doing dumbbells.
Right. And I still do the dumbbell work. I still do kettlebell. I do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But so I try to explain to people the difference is this. I said, you don't think you're improving, right? Because you just say it's always challenging. It's always hard. I said, yeah, but you don't realize you went to the next movement. Now you're easy here. Now it's hard here. Now it's the next step. Mm-hmm. It's like your mobility and flexibility. You might have been flexible here or tight here. Now you're mobile here, so now you're finding the next level of tightness that you have to work on. Uh-huh. You just have to look at that, and they'll say the silliest things. They'll say, well, back when I was lifting, I knew when I moved up. I was like, yeah, how so? They're like, well, I could see the weight go up. I said, well, how many times did the weight actually go up? Right? I said, if you think the weight went up every single time you lift, man, you'd be the Incredible Hulk lifting a couple thousand pounds, and that's not happening. Yeah. You might have went up 5 or 10 pounds maybe one time. Yeah. And that's all you're focused on is that number, as opposed to how perfectly now you're doing that power, doing that more, lifting that weight. Mm-hmm. And that's where the focus needs to be. Yeah. It's how well are you doing it? Yeah. So if your passion is lifting, great. How well are you lifting it? Yeah. You know what I mean? How much control do you have?
Quality. It's all about the quality. And I always tell people, sometimes they ask me, how much can you bench press? How much can you deadlift? How much can you squat? I said, I don't care, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. Because that's not going to help me outside hiking. It's not going to help me outside doing functional movements and things and throwing rocks in my neighbor's yard to help them clean up the aftermath from a storm. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I train to be better at everything I do outside. Right. And every single drill I do, regardless if it is kettlebells or Indian clubs or gatas or maces or body weight or TRX suspension trainers, I strive for 90% quality or better. And I always tell people, take that same advice. Don't worry about the weight so much. Mm-hmm. Worry about functional strength. That's going to make you better outside with all the things so you're well-rounded, and always aim for 90% quality or better with every drill you do. Absolutely. And if they say, how many reps should I do? I'm like, as long as you're doing 90% quality, do as many as you can. If you want to do heavyweight, do heavyweight, but keep it 90% quality or better. And if you're slinging a barbell over your head doing overhead squats and trying to do 20 or 30 reps, your quality is going to break down in 5 or 6 reps. I don't care how much weight is on there. If it's a bar alone, your quality will start breaking down. Absolutely. So I'm always like, check in with yourself and be honest with yourself, and don't try to push past limitations.
Right. I always tell my clients too, they'll say, okay, well, you're happy I did 20 reps of my 20 push-ups. Hey, great, good. Now let's do a harder version. What do we got?
Oh, she can't get sound.
Oh.
Terry, I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully your son will come back. Zach, it's not the load that breaks you down, it's how you carry it.
Absolutely.
Very well put, my friend.
Absolutely.
Very well put.
Zach, another talented talent out there.
Zach, yeah. I always plug him on here because he kind of jumps into stuff like that. Zach is amazing.
Yeah, he really is. Amazing coach. And he came and visited last year.
He was here?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, before he went to the seminar you guys were out over in Connecticut, he stopped over.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah, he stopped over at my house.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
That's right, he was out here.
Yeah.
Zach, you didn't tell me how beautiful this was out here. I'm so stoked. I was telling George, I'm like, I want to come back like for 2 weeks or something, just like hang out in town and like get an Airbnb or something.
Yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
beautiful out
We'll
here.
have to have a big meet and greet again.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
You know?
Yeah, that'd be
good.
awesome.
It'd be good. We got the pool, so we'd make it a summertime thing.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Now, I always talk about the small things too. I mentioned that earlier today in my post. So, on a daily basis, people fall off the wagon a lot and easily, and like they get distracted with the most easy, irrelevant things and subject matter. But what are the little things? Now, mention something that you would say is like a little thing somebody can do on a daily basis to keep themselves motivated. Now, I know one thing Zach Blaine is a master at doing. This man works like 16-hour days, and he does what's called not density training. What's it called? Saturation training, where he'll do like one exercise, and he'll have like 5-minute pockets throughout the day, and he'll do that exercise all day long.
Yeah, it's
Saturation
very like Pavel does it with the deadlift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, people out there listening can do the exact same thing. So I have a zero excuse policy, and I'm like, you can do something always. So one of the little things that I say to people is even if it's like 1 minute of exercise. Like I try to all the people that I train on inning clubs. I highly encourage them to take them with them to work and stuff like that, especially if they're desk bound, and take a movement break every 2 hours. So that's one of the little things that I suggest people do on a daily basis. Get up and spin inning clubs for 30 seconds and get right back to work. But don't sit for more than 2 hours.
Right.
So is there anything else that you would say would be one of those little things people can do on a daily basis?
We actually
related to diet or fitness?
Yeah, well, as far as fitness, we preach the same thing. There's always time to do something.
Yeah.
And we won't say and my wife just had this awesome article written up about her.
I saw that, and I saw the thing downstairs. Are they free to the public?
Yes, they are.
I would like
yes,
to take one.
absolutely. Take one.
I'll post it.
Because she's even busier than I am. She does full-time here, does full-time at home, taking care of the 4 kids, doing everything,
Wow, super mom.
And so she doesn't always have time to train.
Yeah.
So she'll do it at home, in different phases, And she was doing that. She did an article just to show other busy moms out there, that they could do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell my clients, there are times I don't have time to train. So either if I'm here, which is a little easier, I'll be constantly squatting, stretching, crawling, doing things throughout the day that are not part of my training regimen. There are times, as silly as it looks, I have literally hooked my dog up to my belt, and I've bear crawled or did forward traveling beast or lateral aped her to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'll go down the steps, go down the walkway, down the driveway, and I'll come back that way. Just so that my movement side of my brain thinks I am doing different movement patterns all day long. So I'll tell people that if you don't have time to train, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Do some stretches. Squat. Always squat. Find time to
yeah.
just get down in your deep squat, no matter what you call it.
Yeah.
Get down your squat. Move the neck a little bit. Play with the hands. Play with patterns. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're watching TV, squat down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's so much stuff you do while you're watching TV
right.
at home.
And I do it. I have times where, my guilty pleasure, my wife did buy me a PlayStation 4.
Oh my gosh, I can so see you playing that.
And
pressing your thumbs like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I love it. And the Spider-Man game is my favorite. But I will squat down and play.
Yeah.
But the kids notice it and they'll do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would just find time throughout the day just to find a practice that you want to do that day. And dedicate time to that practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's squat, whether it's crawl, whatever. So I'll tell my clients, if you have to walk down your hallway, that one day between AM and PM, say, okay, I'm not going to walk down it. I'm going to crawl every time I go down the hallway.
Yeah.
And just make it a habit.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Or say, okay, I have to do 15 planks today. 15-second intervals each one. Okay, just make sure you do all 15 throughout the entire day.
Great philosophy.
And they do that.
Yeah.
Our clients do that, and we all preach that here.
Yeah.
Not just me, my wife, but our trainers, our staff, our business. They all say the same thing. Because we're all on the same page like that, which is very good.
Yeah. There was a time back in like 2003 when I was doing a heavy dose of Pavel Satsaline, and I was he had a regular column in this magazine called Muscle Media, which no longer is in existence. It was the Phillips brothers. I don't know if you're in Body for Life or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that was my first taste of kettlebells and Pavel Tsatsouline, and I was enamored with the guy. I was like, this guy speaks my language. He's like, no nonsense, no excuses. Anyway, he had this push-up protocol that he had listed in there, and I followed it this one year, and it was exactly like that. It was like every day it was a different amount of push-ups and a different time frame. And this one day, I had to do push-ups I had to do 6 push-ups every 15 minutes, I think it was, for the whole entire day, from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. It might have been even more. Don't quote me on that. But I ended up doing like 200 some push-ups, and I was destroyed by the end of the day. I mean, at work, and I was doing glass sculpting at the time, working for this guy, and I remember like every now and then I'd look at my watch, like, oh, I gotta do my push-ups. I get up, and he wanted you to do them on your knuckles. So I had to put foam on the ground because my knuckles started bleeding. It was a concrete floor, and I'm like cranking out 15 pushes. I get back up, like after I got like the 10th rep down or 10th set, I was gassed, and there was still like 10. I think it was 10 minutes. I think it was 15 push-ups every 10 minutes all day long. It was brutal.
That's tough.
So I mean, you can even like. You can turn the volume that high up if you just like exercise throughout the day, and a set of push-ups only takes 30 seconds. Right. But when you accumulate it over the course of the day,
a lot of reps.
Woo! Yeah, it gets you.
It's a lot of reps, and it brings you back to that soreness thing. You know, my clients always think it's crazy, and I'm like, you don't want to be so sore where you can't do a function the next day. You know, they put back. That means you're working. That means you do too much. Yeah. Now, and Chris Stolitzin, my favorite advice I've heard him say is leave gas in the tank to get home. You know,
that's brilliant.
I use it all. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I stole your quote. I did. I like it.
That's all right. Steal away.
And it's really it's the truth. You know.
Yeah. It's like a movie there. Like a movie where? Here?
No, probably the town is probably saying.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of funny. Anyway, what time you got to get going?
It's 3:06. What time is it?
It's 3:06.
3:06 now.
Now? Oh, good thing I asked because we got carried away.
Yep.
Anyway, this is K-Row reporting live, literally live. Sometimes I say I'm live, but if you don't see me live, obviously I'm not. I'm actually live right now with my good friend George Corso. We are at Forza Gym in Millbrook, New York. Yep. If you're ever in the town, come over and say hello to George. This guy moves like a graceful gazelle, remember that? And make sure to watch his videos and follow him on Instagram and follow me on Instagram as well and watch my stuff. So, till next time, George.
Yeah, brother, more to come with us.
It's been great. Sure. Great hanging out with you. And we're peacing out. See y'all later, everybody. Make tomorrow and tonight, make tonight the best night of your life, and make tomorrow the best day of your life. And don't forget, live in the present moment. Do at least one good deed every single day. Go beyond your comfort zone at least once every day, and pick up at least one piece of trash every single day. And try to get 5 hugs, too. I know it's a long list of things to do. Hopefully you have it memorized. Commit it to memory or write it down. Till next time, this is K-Rail reporting live.